G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into today's video on YouTube. If you remember that Dark Side knockoff toy Lamborghini car video that I did, that was actually very funny as hell. Tell you what, I've destroyed a lot of it. Here you go, I've actually just straightforward did a lot of complete and utter one ton of destruction, as I said so many times earlier after doing that. It was just massive and marvellous to do so. Nice indeed. Obviously we've seen the carnage, obviously. But anyways, we're going to have a look at some of the good news, but also some of the bad news that has actually been thrown into my backyard garden. So first off are the tomato plants. Because of the recent downpours, unfortunately, this plant has actually decided to shrink oh so down. And I think that sort of presents us as a bit of a problem with flowers like this. And I think when you have massive rainfalls like this after a really hot dry summer, this is what happens. This tomato plant has unfortunately decided to subside down, which is not the best option I could really see here. And I think this one is not actually going to be straightforward growing potentially well, because I'm probably guessing that by the time as we head towards September, it's most likely going to shrink. And also I think the fruit are not going to be ripening at that time, so I feel like I've been planning it relatively, well, let's just say very late. Maybe there's, I don't know, maybe the soil isn't wet enough, but I might be totally wrong, because obviously those plants don't really like extremely damp and moist looking conditions. In that case, hey, I might as well just save on watering flowers for, let's just say, another spring or summer, because obviously we're going up towards autumn time now. There's a lot of bee action with the nasturtiums. As you can see, there's a lot of healthy looking nasturtium plants. And it's been very, very nice seeing a lot of nasturtiums, as I can definitely tell, because the way that these plants have been spreading like wildfire, it is just amazing. And they really do seem to cover massive amounts of space. And as you can see, that's a huge invasion of nasturtiums. Now, that is very amazing. But they do make an awesome delicacy for the caterpillars right over in my backyard garden. There's a nettle here, which is not that great to see. But what's most important is apart from, sadly, with the tomato plant, with all of its beautiful looking yellow flowers sinking down, we can also start to see some pretty blossoming flowers of zinnia. Okay? I might as well turn the brightness down, because obviously the sun is shining towards me, which is not a good look, considering that, hey, I'll tell you what, we've got some very fantastic and fine looking zinnias here. So we've got a very nice hot pink one, there's a light pink one, some of it is going up towards red and or scarlet red. We've actually got a wasp that has actually decided to pollinate, which is somehow very nice to see why. Highly attractive. As you can see, the wasps really do pollinate in the same fashion to bees. See, they do work really hard, and they do play an important agricultural role, even though they are seen as pests, because of their stinging abilities, which may obviously be the most stereotyped and one of the most deadlier parts about wasps. It's always a real thing. Okay, the zinnias, if you look at them, they actually do vary in colour, but they also do vary in size as well. Noticing on how big whatever flower it is, depending on, let's just say, how much sunlight there is, that's actually something that sort of tells you on how big or small the zinnia is, or how red. And this one here, I can see an orange one that's about to develop as well. It might change colour as it goes, but we're starting to see an orange one. There's nasturtiums here. In fact, I'm starting to see nasturtiums, and even more so, rarely, there is a yellow zinnia that's popping out. So, in that case, hey, that's fairly rare to see, a yellow zinnia that has started to pop out. And we've got some cosmos right here. Fairly nicely grown flowers. Strange enough, they're actually fairly nicely grown. We've got more zinnia and more dandelions right here. I tell you what, my gardening stuff has been straightforward, highly successful, and hey, we've got a beautiful yellow zinnia that has actually blossomed into a very small looking flower. They are nearly dying because obviously there's been a lot of decay caused by various insects, including caterpillars, aphids, whatever. There's so much going around here. The yellow nasturtiums doing good, of course. And the red nasturtiums, well, they are looking like they are thinning down, but it almost looks like they're just straightforward transferring from one side to the other. How strange is that? You know, they used to be quite big over here, but now they're exchanging their mass into the other side right here, which is just chronically amazing. I think what I'm also seeing is the magic that also goes around here. Once one plant sort of dies out, just after flowering, the flowers will also self-seed as well, which is actually quite outstanding. Up until the time when they actually die, and then the whole cycle repeats itself once more. Okay, we've got another zinnia flower, this small one here, and then we've also got this big pink one here, and I'm pretty sure that actually this big pink one here is almost looking like it's about to wilt. Yes, I'm sure about that. It's actually one of these things where, you know, when flowers start to straight from bloom and blossom, that's where it's at. Okay, we've got more hedgery and shrubbery. There's also those dangerous blackberries that hasn't been trimmed for basically a long time. I don't think they haven't, I don't know what I'm really saying here, but there's not much being done to trim off the pesky blackberry hedge with all those spikes and things. Okay, and these things here, of course, we've got beautiful looking flowers. These wild cabbages, I think they're wild cabbages. Very, very nice. They have successfully blossomed, and the birds have actually started singing, which is a nice sign. Very interesting that the birds are still singing. We've got robins, blue tits, other birds singing along the way here. No onion growth. Unfortunately, if I start harvesting them now, I don't think they're actually very good. Maybe if I try and see how the onion is like. I don't think that onion is actually growing fairly well, I'd probably say, hey. I think they might have seen far better days than if you saw in the first place. And it looks like we've got a beautiful looking bird that's straightforward perched. Is that a great tit? That's actually, in fact, we've actually got a few great tits that are straightforward. Well, over here, they are straightforward looking for some bird food. That's why there's actually quite a few great tits on the trees here. It's interesting, the songbirds are actually coming back to this point here right now. They're sort of singing back, actually. I don't know how. Because usually during August, the birds always stop really much sing. Sorry, my English is just really bad, obviously, because I don't know what I'm saying here. But it's interesting that as we've gone past through the dawn chorus, it feels like that the great tits have basically stopped singing, but it looks like they are now. They are starting to resume singing mode. I'm pretty sure it's there to, like, you know, meet it with other breeding pairs from other parts of the world, because as we go towards autumn time and winter time, birds start flying south and look for somewhere warmer. There you go. We've got a pair of hoverflies pollinating on some beautiful looking, massive looking pink, actually it's quite a big size cosmos flower. And then we've also got a bumblebee. I think it's a common carder bumblebee. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this zinnia flower here, look how successfully grown this thing is. Check this out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buds of flower. There's actually lots and lots of flower buds waiting in the wings. My goodness me. That's quite a lot of flowers I've just grown so far. And because we had a lot of rain that happened around early on in the morning, yeah, we can start to see remnants of some raindrop activity here. So what's that telling you about where we had our summer so far? I could tell you what, and that is that a dandelion, or is that, to me, when I see it, it almost looks like a thistle. I might be totally wrong here, but that's what I'm probably guessing. It looks like a thistle to me, but I might be totally wrong. But anyways, I'm going to straightforward corral one side of the garden here and just show some massive admiration of just how much I've grown so much in this garden. It's a completely and utterly awesome thing to make up such a highly versatile amount of space. Oh my goodness me, I could tell you what, once I start to show you all of this, this is what I've summed up for the rest of 2024. What an amazing backyard garden. There's heaps and heaps of nasturtiums. Sadly, the tomato plant is not doing its best. The only flowers I think that hasn't been doing so well are the sunflowers. Is that a tomato or potato plant? I can't really remember. And look at that. Is that... Wow, check this out. Is that a potato? Is that a sunflower? I'm probably guessing it's sunflower. Probably might have transplanted by accident somehow. But anyways, yes, there you go. What an amazing summary of what I've just planted so far throughout the rest of my backyard garden. And because the weather's getting a little bit cool and a little bit dull, well, guess what? It feels like it's time for me to change. Swapping from bird feeding, or should I just say swapping from gardening to bird feeding, because obviously it's getting cold. Obviously the birds still need to find some more food before winter hits. And that's a great sign. I tell you what, there's been so much gardening opportunities here in the backyard garden. It's so amazing. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here. If you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe more for flat videos in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I'm so glad I'm actually back on doing these types of videos once more. And I'm going to say next to you. Bye for now.